Om Shiva. Om Shanti. 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 Mind is compelling, as you know. That mind, as soon as you come and sit here, you realize mind is compelling. Mind does not like silence, if you understand. Mind is compelling. Mind does not like silence, the silence within and the silence in the surrounding. Mind wants to make sense out of the objects. Mind wants to make sense out of the thoughts, and mind wants to make sense out of the beings around. Mind wants to make sense out of everything. And if we are influenced, sadly and unfortunately, if we are influenced by it, it will take us to an infinite journey. If you understand, if we if we are influenced by the mind, it would take us to an infinite journey. We would have no control, and we would not be resting like we are. But we know, and we have learned through the words of truth and wisdom, and we have learned through Kriya meditation, that it is very possible for us to leave the thoughts alone. When we leave when we leave the thoughts alone, we leave the mind alone. And we know how to tell mind that leave us alone too. Now we know through Kriya Yoga, now we know through Kriya meditation that how to silence, how to silence the mind, how to tame the mind, at least for some time, during the day, during meditation, during our communion to Brahman, during our communion to sacred, our communion to Brahman, our communion to the source. We know that we have taken charge enough. We know that we know that we have taken charge enough of the mind, that now we have turned the tables on the mind, that now we have turned the tables, and now mind does not control us, we control mind, and we give our dhanyavad, we give our thanks, we give our gratitude to our Kriya meditation. Mind, as we sit silent here for some time, as we as we sit silent here for some time, and we try to form a bond with the sacred, as we sit silent here for some time, and we try to commune with the sacred, with divinity, mind is raging out of control. A thought is rising and a thought is subsiding. But we are not boarding on the thoughts, because thoughts are entangled. This mind is the mind of all humanity. The thoughts are entangled. The thoughts are overlapping with each other. It means that if we volunteer ourselves to board on one thought, it means that if we volunteer ourselves to board on one thought, we volunteer ourselves to board on the entire universe. Gently sit, super silent. Remember, we talked about super silent. You remember, don't you? Pay attention to the most crucial, pay attention to the most significant activity that there is happening right now. Pay attention to your breathing, which is the most significant activity which is happening right now. It is the life going in and the life coming out. Let's, you see, in this meditation, let's zero in our focus. In this meditation, let's zero in. Let's bring gently, let's zero in, let's zoom in, whatever we want to call in this meditation. Let's zoom in, let's zero in our focus gently to our breathing, which is we are paying gratitude quietly, which is we are paying gratitude silently to the most significant, the most dire, the most crucial activity, which is we are breathing life in and we are breathing life out. Gratitude, thanks is very important. It brings your positive energy within. We pay thanks, we pay gratitude, not because we pay thanks and we pay gratitude not because it is expected from us. If we understand, We pay thanks and we pay gratitude not because it is expected from us, not because it is the matter of morality or it is cultural. None of these reasons. We pay gratitude, we pay thanks not only to the most important and significant activity there is, but to the people who have done good because it makes us feel good. We do anything good, not in the result, not, excuse me, we do anything good not for the greed. We do anything good not for the greed of the result, not for the greed of the reward, you see, but it makes us feel good. Our inner being, our higher consciousness, our higher self is praised and happy because we pay gratitude to those around us. We also have learned to forgive, starting from our own self. We also we also have learned we also have learned to forgive, starting from our own self, no matter what mistake we have made in the past, no matter what mistake we have made in the past, but past is gone. Past is long gone. Past is gone. We have no control on what has happened. We have no control. Gone by gone. We have no control on what has happened. But by practicing our free will in this moment and in time, without the influence of the karma, without the influence of the memory, without the influence of the knowledge and everything that we know, without all these influences, we can practice our free will and we can shed the karma and or we can change the karma. It is very possible. This is when the free will comes in. This is when the free will kicks in. So let's learn to practice our free will. In all activities that we perform, the main thing is focus. Focus is very necessary. When we are not multitasking, until unless we have a job and in that job it is expected or it is required from us to multitask. There is nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it's crucial, sometimes it's significant to multitask, which is okay. But when we sit in the communion with sacred, when we sit here super silent, and when we sit in the communion with sacred, when during the meditation, when we are trying to merge or one with the sacred, it's not necessary to multitask within you. If you understand, it's not necessary to multitask within you. It's not necessary to entertain thoughts. It's not necessary to entertain memory. It's not necessary to entertain words, numbers. It's not as necessary to entertain images. It's not necessary. So the best thing while we sit here super silent and try to form a band. I'm sure now you are familiar with the bands. Um, that as we sit in the communion with sacred and try to form a band with the sacred, we defocus from everywhere. We close our eyes, we defocus from everywhere. We defocus from the thoughts within. We defocus from the noise within. We defocus from outside. For some time, the sense, the five senses, basically, one of them is sight. For some time, for the time being, we have closed that for the time being. So it makes it easier for us to defocus from everywhere. When we close our eyes and we realize now we are not fascinated by the objects around us. When we close our eyes, we realize now we are not fascinated with the people or the beings around us. We are only, now we have our mind, and the thoughts are raging out of control to take charge of us. But the thought would rise and the thought would subside. Let the thought rise, let the thought subside. Do not go with the thought. That's the mission of the meditator. That's the mission of the yogi. That's why in yogic culture, that's why being a meditator, that's why that's why in yogic culture, that's why being a meditator, that's why performing meditation for such a long time, it is very necessary to defocus. Because when we defocus from everywhere, basically, even we defocus from the thoughts within that are rising and are raging out of control to take charge of us, what we essentially are, the self awareness, we realize we are not going to give the thoughts any charge. When we defocus from everywhere, what remains is journal focus. Please remember that. When we defocus, when we defocus from everywhere, what remains the journal focus. Once we have established ourselves in journal focus, journal focus means the moment. Journal focus means the focus without any direction. Journal focus means the focus without any dimension. Journal focus means the truth of the moment. Journal focus means the present moment. Journal focus means what we have, the sense of self awareness only. Because if we don't have any memory right now, if we are not fascinated by the compelling thoughts, just like the rubber band, I give you the example. If we are not obsessed with the compelling thought, we are not boarding on the thought, our one sense perception is closed for the time being, our sight, we only experience the sense of self awareness. We only experience consciousness or the sense that I am or the sense that I exist. I have showed you in the previous messages. I have showed you in the previous messages. I have showed you in the I have showed you in the previous messages. I have showed you in the previous retreats. more than once that how to perform Buddha Siddhi, the elements of nature, the five elements of nature, and one of them is water. And we pay gratitude to water. And remember, if the water has come in contact with you, water has your memory, and you have water's memory because water is straight from the nature, you see. So pay gratitude. We pay gratitude to one of the five elements which support human accumulation uh, by the nature. Water is very generic, you see. So we sit super silent while we are performing the meditation, and we look at water for some time and consciously give gratitude that how grateful we are that water is around, how grateful it's our life sitting in the bottle or in the cup. And believe me or not, as everything in nature is alive, so is the water. The molecular formula of this very water would change. If I pay conscious gratitude, it would bring, it would form a strong band. You heard of band? It would form a strong band between you and the water. Basically, it would form a good band with you, what you are essentially the life energy, and with the nature, you would feel lighter, you would feel jubilant, would feel active if this done every day properly. Please remember that. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. We are becoming conscious of this breathing pattern. Breathe in, breathe out. This fundamental practice, this generic practice, this basic practice, this teaches us basically to remain calm in any situation. And if we learn to remain calm, if we learn to remain calm in any situation, we can resolve just about any issue in life. All we gotta learn is to remain calm. And this very fundamental practice, this very natural practice is helping us do that, that we are becoming conscious and conscious during meditation every day of our breathing, at least for some time of the day. If you miss a day or two, we realize if you miss a day or two, it doesn't matter. You don't have to start from zero. I have mentioned that before in the meditation session, and while I'm delivering the words of truth and wisdom during the communion with the sacred, that if we miss a day or two, it doesn't mean that you have not made a progress. Mind would tell you, because most of the time we realize mind is not our ally. Mind has a mind or the perspective of its own. It has no remorse for us. It has no sympathy or compassion for us. So remember, mind would obviously reject that and tell you and would try to punish you by saying, oh, look, you have lost a couple of days or you have lost one day. Now you're going to start from the zero. No, you do not start anything from the zero. Whatever you have done before, it is not going in the water. No, but it is basically whatever you have done so far any dedication to your practice or career meditation, it remains there. It remains intact as long as you make a habit out of it, and as long as you perform it on the regular basis, or at least that's what your intention is. I have told you before that intention basically is the birth. I have told you, you have heard the term birth. I have told you that intention basically is the birth of creation. I have mentioned that numerous times. We are resting our legs also if we are feeling a we are resting our legs also if we are feeling a little tired. It's okay to rest our legs in and stretch our legs, since it's been a while that we are sitting in the state of meditation. It is okay to take a break if you want to prolong the duration of your meditation. If you want to prolong the duration of your meditation, you can stretch your legs during the meditation. There is nothing wrong with that. The main goal is to learn to defocus from everywhere during meditation and instill, that's the word I'm looking for, and excuse me, that's the word I'm looking for in English, and instill ourselves, our chit, our human consciousness, with the consciousness of Brahman, the Superatma, or the super consciousness, which is Brahman. You should. The message I have delivered here today during this meditation. Now, please remember, I always tell you to remember the word remember. Now, please remember something. You can use this deliverance from divine, this message, this retreat. You can use this as a premeditation. This session today, this retreat, the message I delivered, please remember that you can use this as a premeditation. It would clear you. It would clear your perception. You would have more transparency and patience during the meditation. So before you tend to go in the meditation, just remember to use this small retreat or the session. Just put your headphones on, sit in a super silent corner. You know what silent is, don't you? Shh, shh. Sit in a super silent corner. Ideal time is the beginning of the day, as I have told you that we have not perceived the data through our five senses. So that's the ideal time, the beginning of the day. Put your headphones on, sit straight as humanly possible, but comfortable. Otherwise, it would defeat the purpose. And first play this retreat. So it would clear you, it would help you to instill the consciousness, the awareness itself in the present moment, and then you can perform meditation. Make meditation a regular habit. Keep doing it every day. It doesn't matter for how long. Just make sure that's not too short, basically. Just please make sure of that. The reason is meditation is directly proportion with your well-being. The more meditation you do, the more meditation, if done correctly, on the regular basis would increase dramatically your own well-being in every regard, in every situation. As I said, focus is a must. And first, we learn to defocus from everywhere when we have a control on our focus, when we are not distracted by the thoughts and the mind of all humanity, then we can gently transfer our focus towards whichever we want to transfer our focus. You see. Mm.